Hey, hey, what's going on, y'all? Savage AF. You know what it is, man. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going hooded on y'all. I'm going dark night on y'all niggas tonight. Savage AF, man. Forget your feelings. Facts matter. Shane can't be here today, so this is Joe Solo edition. Yeah. Weren't expecting that, were you? I don't care. We missed yesterday as well, so sorry about that. But we are here for you. I see y'all joining in the building. I appreciate y'all. Forget your feelings. Facts matter. We're here for you guys. Monday through Friday, typically. Typically at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on Facebook and YouTube when we do it. If you ever miss us live, crack is taking over your life, or you're like The Last of Us, where some fungi has taken over your brain and central nervous system. But the vaccine, okay, the cleansing is available on our YouTube page. Savage AF. You know what it is. YouTube.com/C/Savage AF World, all one word. That's our YouTube page. And if you ever miss us live, you can catch us there. I see y'all gathering in the building. I'm gonna give an early shout out. Bronda, I see you. Queen B, I see you. Lady Hazel May. Sexy Puerto Rican. Okay. I see you. Breezy JJ's. Damani Jones representing for the brothers. Sound the horn. Get the homies in the building. Lady Hazel May. It's a Dro flow tonight. I like that Dro flow. I usually call him Dro Solo. That's why I put my Jedi hood on tonight. I'm Dro Solo. But yeah, Shang will be back tomorrow, man. Fear not. That being said, in addition to YouTube, you can also follow us on Facebook. I don't know what your problem with YouTube is. Maybe you've been flagged and for a couple times like we have on the run. But yeah, if you're a fugitive, a digital fugitive, a social media fugitive, I'm cracking open some bourbon right now. Sorry. If you know what this is, then you know what this is. Yeah, man. Facebook is there for you. If YouTube got you on the run, Facebook is there for you guys. I don't know if you can hear the gluck, gluck, gluck of that pour, but it did sound probably like I poured myself a little bit too much alcohol. Cheers to that. Can never have too much until the cops come. On Facebook, man, you want to look us up. Usually, like when it's just me by myself, then it just does a full screen and I can't really get a background behind me going. But Savage A.F. On Facebook, Savage A.F. Kevin Keith, welcome to it. Thank God there's not another K in your name, or those would be awkward initials. Treehead, I see you, girl. You day drinking today. Okay, girl. There's no other day you can day drink other than today. You can't day drink yesterday. But I appreciate you doing it today, mama. Yeah, man. I feel like that's a reference to my post on IG earlier. I was watching my roommate's cat just look out the window, and it's right by a bird feeder that my roommate set up a while ago. And yeah, I haven't seen, as I said in the post, not a nan bird eat one seed out of that bird feeder. And I was like, well, If my natural predator was just sitting on the other side of glass, which I don't know is glass, I probably not gonna fly up and grab some seeds. Fuck them seeds, you know what I mean? Seeds everywhere, bro. I don't have to fly up to a cat to get that. Speaking of IG, that was just a random post I put up today. Black Pedro. Boom. It's right there for you guys. I'm not even gonna put up the whole graphic and stuff. I'm gonna be lazy today, I'll admit. I'm just gonna talk a bunch of shit, but I'm not gonna be putting up graphics and Shang will put in a bunch of donkey dick gifts and I don't know, man. I really don't know where he gets this stuff from, but um yeah, that won't be happening today. You just gonna get this Dro Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi in this bitch. Obi-Wan Kedrobi. I could do this all day, except I only have about 50 more minutes. Treeheads, the squirrels will eat them with no problem. They don't give a shit about cats behind the window. Only problem is I live on the second floor and the bird feeder is adhered to the window. So, I mean, squirrels are talented, very athletic. Can't get to these seeds, bro. It's not strictly bird seeds. Phenom Brown, you know the show. You know Shang has donkey dick gifts in his gift wallet. This nigga got a trough of he has a trough of fucking just ridiculous animation and graphics that I'm like, bro, where do you get that from? Tree said they'll find a way. The squirrels, they're gonna find a way to the second. Okay, let me see if I can show y'all. I'm gonna take look, the laptop's not connected today, so I'm just gonna take y'all on a ride. Let me take you on a funky ride all around the world. So that's the bird feeder right there, man. It's in the window. We on the second floor. It's I really don't know if these squirrels can get up here like that. So um yeah, treehead. I'm gonna challenge that. I know squirrels, they're nifty. I've seen them. Many stories in college of people coming home to a squirrel in their dorm room. Never happened to me. I'm a real nigga. I close my windows when I leave. You're not gonna get me. Um, Let me see. Sexy Puerto Rican said it'll be one gangster bird that'll try that cat. I don't know. She's a good sized cat too. She ain't one of them little petite ones. All right. Treehead, you've had some kind of squirrel life going on that we don't know about yet. She said, I'm telling you, squirrels are insane. I hung a bird feed from my roof so we could see it from our second floor. Tried everything and nothing kept them away. I don't see a path for them here. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. But honestly, I digress. This wasn't about bird seed or cats. It was literally just about Instagram and following me on there at Black Pedro. Let's stay focused. That being said, yeah, we're way past the 5 minute mark. So Savage AF, fuck your feelings. Facts matter. For those who don't know, somehow the algorithms say that if you curse too much in the first 5 minutes or say the wrong words, you won't get as many kind of impressions or a repost. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to talk to the peoples. That being said, man, I'm going to get into the show. It is Tuesday, January 24th, 20 Deuce Trey. In the time space continuum, I'm Black Pedro. This is the Dro solo edition of Savage AF. Fuck your feelings, facts matter. Make sure you also follow comedian Shang. I am going to put that up because he's not here to represent. So make sure you follow at comedian Shang as well on Instagram. I might as well do this then at Black Pedro. Blah, blah, blah. But the realidad is that on this day, a Tuesday, your run up for today is we're not going to end with the Shangri because you know he's not here. So I'm going to end with a Black Pedro popping. Can I get my lake on ice? I'll talk about it. It sounds crazy. Before we get into that, attack of the Coon-Bellied-Cracker-Backs. I'm gonna hold that. I want y'all to pocket that and just stay. But attack of the Coon-Bellied Cracker-Backs. It's a new term I'm coining. Back up. Before we get into that, what's up, Doc? Now you thought that Trumpy Dumpty and Biden had paper problems. Let your boy Pence walk right on in. But before we get into that, Savage AF, fuck your feelings, facts matter. It's Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. It's January 24th, which means we are literally 24 days in to this year. When you hear how many mass shootings we've already had, you're going to be like,
motherfucker say what? Yeah. Motherfucker say what? Say yeah, yeah, yeah.
On the 24th day, sounds like a very horrible Christmas carol. On the 24th day of 2023, we have at this point accumulated 39 mass shootings. Motherfuckers say what? Wow, America, we're really striving for something here. Really setting a global example. In California alone, over the past couple of days, you've had 3 shootings. Here, I believe 10 or 11 people were killed in Monterey Park at a dance studio. They just had a shooting in Half Moon Bay, which is kind of nestled between San Francisco and San Jose along the coast here in Cali, and the shooting in Oakland. And Half Moon Bay and Oakland, I think, were 8 people shot, and I think 1 person killed in each location. But either way, first of all, I don't know. I really don't know how what y'all did to these Asian dudes, but in Monterey Park and Half Moon Bay, you have older Asian dudes like in their 60s and 70s who went in Monterey Park specifically. This dude, I think he's like 72, and attacked his own community. And we talk about black on black crime and blah blah blah, but like this is like he shot up a dance studio, dog, that he used to frequent, that I believe he used to teach at. But obviously at no point in his life should have been allowed to have a gun. Especially I believe he had a Mac 10 with an extended magazine, which has been illegal in California for like 30 years or so. So a lot of questions about, the weapon he had, how he had it. And because he took his own life, we won't get the answers from him, and maybe never at all. Half Moon Bay was another Asian man who seemed to be a disgruntled worker in some sort of retaliation move against his coworkers. And then Oakland, I don't know what that's about. Also, authorities are looking for a dude in Washington State who committed a mass shooting that seems to be completely unprovoked or at all, and just very random shooting. So America might have a problem. I don't know. Kevin Key said there's a mass shooting every day in the U.S. No doubt, bro. No doubt. Actually, At this point, on average, there's more than one. Because as I'm trying to point out that on our 24th day, we have 39 shootings. To your point, brother, that is obviously more than one shooting a day, actually, right? Um, Actually, more than one and a half shootings a day, right? If we do the math. Um, so we're on quite a pace, and I think what the statistics are showing, not even what I think, but that there is a growing trend over the past, 5 6 years of and the pandemic seemed to be a spike in 2020 specifically, and since then a spike in these shootings, to where we're in like the 600 range, 650 shootings per year, which is, if there's 365 days in a year, I mean, we're almost at two a day nationwide, which I would think is enough. Probably we could probably cut back on that. Um, Treehead said Shane didn't even believe us that there are mass shootings every week. What? Did he deny that? I don't remember that moment, but I think we all realize that there are these. And I think to Kevin Keith's point earlier, I think what he's saying is that we there's probably ones that we don't hear about. And there's a specific definition. I believe it's four or more people shot, not including the shooter. Um, and that's what the U.S. defines as a mass shooting. Um, we also had some drive-by situations in the hood, which qualify, but are typically slightly different situations than what we're talking about. When we talk about these mass shootings, I think we're mostly talking about people who have snapped mentally, that own guns legally, and there's no indication that they shouldn't, other until they use them improperly to kill all their coworkers or classmates or whatever it may be. Phenom Brown says three or more. Treehead does too, so I stand corrected. I I bow to my queens. Thank you for that correction. Fuck your feelings. Facts matter. So fuck my feelings. Facts matter. So three or more people shot, not including the shooter, is a mass shooting. Either way, I threw an extra body in there just for old time's sake. But the reality is, I think we have enough of these per day, not even weekly now, right? Because they do pile up very, very quickly. Let me see what else. AJ Fit, I see you in the building. He says it will never change. White white people have the higher percentage in the population, and the, there's a lot of two Aers out there. The Second Amendment, right to bear arms. That's always going to be a sort of contention here. With that, I'm not saying that Americans don't have the right to bear arms. There are legitimate questions about magazine capacity and their use, because there are no competitive shooting competitions, other than wars over the block, but like sanctioned competitive shooting competitions that require you to shoot 30 rounds in seconds. um and fully automatic weapons could probably, yeah, it's like definitely questions around that. Why does your average citizen need a fully automatic assault rifle? um that's a lot, man. Especially giving, and I'm always full disclosure, and I think most of you know that I'm a a multi-gun owner on 3 different platforms: 9 millimeter, 12 gauge, and AR-15. But I'm about responsible ownership and um, how should I say it? Training. Sorry, and safety. So knowing what I have and what those weapons do, the idea of being able to empty out, 30 rounds, 100 rounds in seconds, it's ridiculous shit. You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't need that. I was just trying to keep crackers off my lawn. Queen B, you held it down with Shang last night? Oh Lord. That sounds scary. I'm actually glad I missed that episode. You two together, it sounds like one big Negro conspiracy. I love it though. Man, I'll have to go back and watch, which I can do on at the address that's scrolling at the bottom. YouTube.com. Oh shit. Am I still connected? Okay, yeah, there we go. YouTube.com/C/Savage World, all one word. I won't be cash apping you a goddamn penny, okay? Shane owes you $6 million and you want me to pay you for last night, nigga? Are you serious? Stop playing. I'm glad it was a good one though. I'll have to watch that, y'all. We'll check that out. But yeah, man. I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'm by myself. And I'm rambling at this point. But that was your motherfucker say what for today. 39 mass shootings in 24 days. Something's in the water, y'all. And it might be America. Although, shout out to the dude though, Daniel Say, who in Monterey Park took action. And this was one other aspect I wanted to touch on. But I'm sorry, I said Daniel, Brandon Say. But this is a young man who saw a guy with a gun walking in, because that's the thing with the Monterey shooter. He shot up this dance hall in Monterey and then went up to Alhambra, and there met this dude Brandon Say, who wrestled the gun away from him and took action. And we can all talk shit and be like, yeah, well, that's what you should do and shouldn't do, but even I, staying defense minded, don't know how I would necessarily react in a situation like that. But I hope I would like this, because it did absolutely save other lives. The man in Monterey Park was looking to kill others at another location and was thwarted by action. Basic self-defense tells you to run from a person with a knife and charge a person with a gun, because you ain't gonna outrun the bullets. Let me see. Treehead said Queen Bee saved us from an entire show of how much Shang hates women. All right. Well, I don't think Shang hates women. But like old dirty bastard, he got burnt once, but that was only gonorrhea. And so those are the kind of things you don't forget. I was just quoting hip hop. I really don't know his STD history, or if he has one. But and then Treehead, let's be careful about gassing up Queen Bee, because she's 2 compliments away from actually thinking she's like a queen, and then it's like, whoa, chill. Love y'all though. Savage AF, man. Fuck your feelings. Facts matter. Speaking of facts, some of them may have occurred over FAX. Facts is what up, Doc? So your boy Trumpty Dumpty, obvious a felonious thief. Been hoarding top secret documents, classified documents, things like that. And I say hoarding because when they ask for him back, he's like, no, they're mine. So, I mean, when you want to keep shit that you shouldn't, you're hoarding. um, yeah, and then then Biden got caught up with some documents himself, but voluntarily was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, didn't know I had. Oh shit, here's some more." They just found some more the other day. It's okay. There's some more. You're like, God damn it, Joe, way to fuck this up. Treehead, I don't need you keeping count of ODB's gonorrhea count either. I mean, he said it in the song. He said I got burnt once, but it was only gonorrhea. Dirty. I keep shit strains in my jaw so I can keep it so funky for ya. I didn't hear about the second case, and I honestly don't need the details. Um, didn't really want to know about the first time, but he put it in a funky rhyme, so shame on the nigga. So Joe got caught up with the documents too, and you're like, man, shit. Well, this don't look good. But save the day, your boy Mike Pence comes right back in, just like January 6th, doing the right thing. And they found some, classified documents at Mike Pence's house in all places, like in Indiana, of all places, I should say. So nothing's safe there. I'll tell you that. As a Michigander, I'll tell you nothing is safe in Indiana. Okay. So yeah, I think 2 Republicans to 1 Democrat. This kind of balances out the scales politically. I think this makes it a political wash in terms of classified document stuff, but not legally, right? Like politically, I don't think either side can talk shit, but legally, I think we need to look at the responses and understand that both Mike Pence and Joe Biden, Robinette himself, Batman and Robinette, they voluntarily handed over documents that they found that they shouldn't have had. But Trumpty Dumpty did not do that. When it was discovered that Trumpty Dumpty had not turned in certain documents that they were looking for, they had to go back and forth with him. He turned in some, and they were like, "No, but you're still missing some." And then they had to raid the crib and be like, bitch, give me my shit." And the whole time he's been arguing, "This is my shit." So there's that. So yeah, I think there's a political and a legal distinction that needs to be made, that is being made. But I hope that we all understand and can talk about. Oh, Treehead's now going to test me on my ODB. Later, he said he got burnt 2 times if you really look at it. I know that album verbatim. I gotta know the line now. Treehead, send me the track. Let me know what are we talking about? She's still caught on the goddamn gonorrhea. But the reality is America's getting burnt, right? Obviously, there's a process that isn't being upheld from administration to administration. You just hope that Barack don't get caught up in this. You can burn the closets. So hit the fire button if you got, burn that shit. But yeah, obviously, Democrat Republican administration to administration, there is now a demonstrated problem. There's a demonstrated problem with the securing of documents. It ain't happening, right? So refine that process. Step 1. But also simultaneously, step 2 or 1A is, let's look at the difference between the documents that were taken, the knowledge of them, the intentions behind it, and the response to the discovery of the possession of those documents. Those are all factors to weigh. Queen Bee already suggested this when it first came up, and she was like, "Hell, they might go poking at Jimmy Carter house. They got to dig up everybody. Jimmy, Barack, W. W got files. W is at his house using top secret documents as table napkins. Man, they've had them printed on T-shirts. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right, Phenom Brown comes with her daily soliloquy. Give it up for our resident poet. I'm not even gonna it's hard for me to preview it while I'm doing it live by myself. So I'm just gonna put it up. Let's see what she says. So strange, all these classified documents are showing up. Joe, it almost seemed like a setup. Was it the staff packing stuff up all willy-nilly or what? And backtracking a bit, it was so good in Brandon to handle the shooter like that. Oh yeah, okay, so we got a couple of different topics going on. I hope he gets blessed tremendously. He deserves all kinds of crowdfunding for his good work. I hope he gets proper therapy too, because that was a horrible trauma. And for the community in general, I believe, and that's Brandon Say, the gentleman who thwarted the Monterey shooter, who at the second location in Alhambra. Um, he said, that the real courage is, or the real courage needs to go out to, or is for the families of the victims and the community that has to go through it, for those who've been lost. But yes, okay. Back to the documents. Um, when you say it's so strange that all these documents are showing up, I hear what you're saying, Phenom. So in the three cases that we know about, here's the situation as I understand it. With Biden and Pence, their respective legal teams were, for whatever reason, that to me specifically is unknown. I don't think we know exactly why you're having lawyers clear out your shit, but if you got documents, legal documents, yeah, well, is Biden about to sift through his old office in at UPenn, or personally sift through that? No, you hire a lawyer to do that. So it seems like a regular process, especially since it happened with both Pence and Biden, that their respective lawyers in these separate locations found, classified documents and otherwise specified documents that maybe they shouldn't have, probably shouldn't have in their possession. So in those two cases with Pence and Biden, we're aware of it because their teams found these documents and then notified the proper authorities. With Trumpty Dumpty, it was an inventory issue where the National Archives are like, we don't have any of these things. What did you do with this shit? Right. And then they came back and were like, oh, it's like kind of like Debo with the bike with Red. Is like, oh, I didn't know you wanted that back, homie. And then eventually they gave some things back, and then they're like, no, but we're still missing that. And then Trump was like, no, but that shit is mine. And then they had to send the FBI in to fucking raid Trump shit. So Trump had to be raided. Pence and Biden turned shit in. So that's why shit was popping up in those specific cases. I don't like the Joe, when you said Phenom, you said Joe, it almost seemed like a setup. Because I don't want us to, on the left, or however we identify, Democrat, whatever. I don't want us to get into that QAnon space where it's like, oh, it's a setup. It's like, no. Once you see with Pence and like, and you see with Trump, although the motivations are sort of clearly different, at least in my eyes, this is not Joe Biden being set up. This is some kind of fuck up. but it seems to be systematic, such that classified documents are ending up in places where they shouldn't be because whatever protocols are in place are not being followed. That's the line of logic I'd like to follow. I'd like to adhere to, rather than they setting Joe Biden up. Because now who is they? What's the they? Like you can't. I hate they. But I love you, Phenom. But I'm gonna say I'm not going with Joe Biden was set up. No, Joe Hillary Clinton was also. Oh, by the way, none of the documents on her email on her server were classified or top secret, but um, I think we're still deemed improperly stored. Um, so yeah, and then again, and also the content with all of these, right? Like who had what papers, also the volume. With Mike Pence and Joe Biden, we're talking about dozens of papers, documents, and with Trump T. Dumpty, we're talking about hundreds. So a couple dollars here and there, all right, bruh. When we get into the hundreds, that ain't no mistake, right? Like that's not. It's hard to make that mistake hundreds of times, and then be like, "No, that wasn't a mistake. Those are mine." That's when you know it wasn't a mistake. Let me see. Phenom Brown said Trump declassified many documents with his mind. Absolutely. That's a whole other factor I didn't bring up. So thank you, Phenom. Yeah, no, and we've talked about it in the past, but clearly his mentality around these documents and their security is vastly different from Mike Pence and Joe Biden. So and again, content and I think intentions will be investigated. Tree has said it wouldn't surprise me if Biden would set up. The Democrats need a better candidate to go against DeSantis. I don't think they need to set him up though to do that. Treehead, to be honest. But I do think, Treehead, that this is enough political garbage. While it won't be a legal issue for Joseph Biden, I do not believe it will be. And many, are of that same mindset. Um, I do believe that it will be a political bear trap. He gonna lose a foot over this. Coyote ugly. You're gonna have to gnaw that off if you want to keep going, bro. But yeah, I think this will hamper him politically, and to be honest, hopefully, I think I'd rather see somebody run anyway. I think I was always in that boat. And this is enough to be like, hey, man, you're good, but this shit's about to get muddy. I don't think it's going to be what the 2024 election cycle will be about. I don't think it'll be about you know documents in garages or closets. But yeah, I think the DNC has some leverage now to be like, hey, man, you ever think about stepping down and maybe not doing that shit anymore? Maybe you had the time and that thing, you say thanks for your service. And you do the salute thing, and and then he'll turn and there'll be nobody there to shake the hand. You'd be like, "Are we over here?" And you'd be like, "Oh, that's fine." But Treehead, I do not think he was set up. All right. All right. So I'm gonna keep it pushing. Again, I'm by myself. In this story, again, I don't have graphics right here for this one. This could have been a motherfucker say what as well, but and usually I call these things say his name. In this case, this young man who was 29 years old in the city of Memphis, Tennessee, Tyre Nichols. I do want to say his name, Tyre Nichols. But recently, and it's just coming to surface now, The family itself has just seen the police cam footage of it. But what we have is a situation of what I'm calling the attack of the coon-bellied crackerbacks. The coon-bellied crackerbacks. And let me see if I can kind of multitask while I talk to you guys about this. Let me see. But the young man, Tyre Nichols, was, I believe, it was a traffic stop situation in Memphis, in which I believe Brother Nichols tried to run. That being said, upon being eventually stopped by the police, sorry, I'm still trying to pull in the image here. He was eventually stopped by. That's not gonna work either. Shit. Oh, I could just screen share with y'all. Sorry about that. I forgot about that too. But he was eventually stopped by the police and beaten for 3 minutes. I'm still working here. I'm doing this. Boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm gonna share this. And eventually, I believe you guys can see this, right? Sorry. So eventually, the brother Tyre Nichols was beaten for 3 minutes by the 5, what I'm calling Coon-Bellied-Cracker-Backs. Okay, I'm refusing at this point to call these black men, but these Coon-Bellied-Cracker-Back cops, 5 of them, formerly known as black men, beat another black man to death. 3 days later in the hospital, brother Tyre Nichols died. But ultimately, I just have to keep highlighting this. It's at the hands of these guys right here, right? This shit right here. These 5 dudes right here. All Memphis police officers. And there's so many layers to this for me. These 5 officers beat another man that looks just like them to death. The defense attorneys, or the attorneys representing the Nichols family, I should say, they described this as they used him as a human pinata. Human pinata were the words for 3 minutes. So a lot of things come up in this. First of all, not all skin folk are kinfolk, right? Just because they look like you don't mean that they act accordingly. I don't want to hear that this isn't racial because it's black on black or whatever. This is still racial because these coon-bellied crackerbacks are fully complicit with the oppressive system that is the police department across America, or police enforcement and law enforcement in general, right? Like you see the nigga in the right hand corner, bald headed with the beard. He can't. These niggas can't wait. The 2 and the one right under him. These niggas are so happy to yes a massa in Memphis of all places. So these slave catchers, these Django's Unchained are forever on my shit list. But all skin folk ain't kinfolk. They are part of the racist system, right? That is law enforcement. And just because they're black or you used to be, does not alleviate them of that responsibility and that duty. But then also, another thing I did find interesting, um, and I don't know if you can quite see it in the Google search window, but I did Google Memphis cops fired. And yes, Queen Bee, exactly where they murdered Dr. King. You got niggas with badges killing brothers. But also, I Googled Memphis cops fired because I know that they have already been fired. So while I acknowledge that they are completely wrong in their actions and they are a bunch of Coon-Bellied-Cracker-Backs who deserve to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and maybe beyond, um, that also because they niggas and they are black cops and bad cops, but because they are black bad cops, they were fired immediately. And I'm not advocating for the retention of their jobs. I'm just like, you seem to know what to do with bad black cops, but with bad white cops, it's like, well, let's let the jury decide, and we'll keep them on paid leave. And but these niggas are already fired. All five of these niggas are no longer cops. Good, it's good, but not equal or fair in terms of the way that all cops are treated when they kill unarmed black men. And again, these cops deserve it, but so do the white cops. But with the white cops, it's like it's a fucked up situation, right? Again, I'm not advocating for these cops at all. I'm not saying that they deserve any other treatment than what they got. I'm just finding it very interesting that five black cops that kill a black man get fired immediately. If that was five white dudes, paid leave, right? Am I wrong? Paid leave. Union reps are in. They're keeping those jobs. And Queen Bee, I see you say it's black on black, but I want to be sure that we don't limit it to that because this is still cop on black too. And just because the cops were black, um, because black on black sounds like some street shit. And this is more than that, right? It is some street shit, right? These are niggas, crabs in a barrel. But systematically, it's still cops on black, right? This is like black while being black or some shit. Um, but this is very, very, very quick firing, which is deserved, but not representative of how all cops are treated. I'm sorry, how all bad cops are treated when they do bad things. Let me say. She has said no paid vacation for these gentlemen, which I would challenge that description of them. But she said, I want to feel some way about it, but also that's what the fuck they get for being coons. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I'm just presenting for me, for you guys, my internal conflicts or layers with this entire situation is these are some, again, I'm coining the phrase coon-bellied crackerback, you know, just who is that nigga on that nag type of motherfuckers. Who sneaks coming. Huh? Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. But so these are obviously the worst Negroes you could ever engineer. And also some of the worst cops you could ever engineer. But in our society, when the worst cops happen to be also happen to also be Negro, then the system knows what to do with them, right? You know what to do with these Negro cops, these nigger cops, these coon cops who killed a black man. They knew exactly what to do with them. But Thank you for the blessing, Phenom. But when there are white cops involved in the killing of an unarmed black man, it very much seems like there's a an extension of due process. Like the process moves much more slowly towards justice than this did. And again, this is a just firing. Right? I'm gonna keep saying that back and forth because it is this dualistic, bifurcated feeling, like very dividing feeling. Like these cops deserve to be fired, but why y'all be firing black cops so quickly? You know, and these are bad cops. You know, it's really not about their skin color, right? They really are just bad cops, bad people, bad human beings, bad men. Right? Black, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Bad men, but also amongst bad men, black men are still the worst. It's tough. It's tough. Treehead says they don't care and don't care about how it looks either. America slaps us in the face daily without hesitation or apologies. And and I think the biggest slap of all, as I move on, Treehead, is it comes from our own people. You know what I mean? Like that the system, like law enforcement, a system like law enforcement can sick us on ourselves, can it capture us, train us to hate us and abuse us, and then they can just sit back and wipe their hands of it. Savage AF, man, fuck your feelings, facts matter, yo. America's a crazy place. Speaking of a crazy place, this is the crazy place I live in.
Hey, hey, hey. It's your boy Black Pedro, popping in, hey, 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 with another poppin' to let you know what's poppin'.
Hey, it's your boy Black Pedro with another poppin' to let you know what's poppin'. We gonna end this show today. Usually I drink neat. You see, ain't nothing in there but what you need. But my poppin' today is, can I get my lake on ice? And I don't know if this is just day drinking delirium or guap's damn genius. Okay. But my nigga, I'm like, okay, we got all this ice that's melting into the ocean that's about to fuck up, that is fucking up the ecosystem because we done fucked up the ecosystem and it's getting too warm on the planet and the ice is melting. It's also getting so warm that the lakes are evaporating, right? Nigga, they about to find Al Capone. Nigga stuck to a tree at the bottom of a lake somewhere. Okay. So all kind of shit is just. So I'm like, what if and I don't know how this works, but if we can goddamn last year we Armageddon an asteroid. We sent a satellite into an asteroid and sent it off, knocked it off course. We in space. We on Mars, nigga. We around the sun. We Hubble telescope, all kind of telescoping, looking at the edges of the universe. I'm like, has anybody thought about picking up one of these chunks of ice and dropping that bitch in a lake somewhere? Like, what if we just took the big rock? For all my like real drinkers out there, don't get the little chippy cubes. Get the big rock. It's a slower melt. It keeps it chill without diluting too quickly. But let's take some of them big rocks and drop them in Lake Mead. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Hoover Dam or wherever it needs to go. What's drying up? Lake Castaic, dog. The Southwest. Just drop that bitch on motherfucking the desert. Just create a lake. But I'm like, maybe we could do something because we got the rain, right? California just had all this rain and we let most of it wash out. Trillions, tens of trillions of gallons of water we just let wash back out into the ocean that we won't use again in a place that's droughted the fuck out. We got huge chunks of ice. I mean, when I'm talking about chunks of ice, obviously we're not talking about the glass full. We're talking about shit the size of Denver. Well, let's put some Denver in the lake. Okay? Let's put some goddamn Denver in the fucking lake. And I know we could tote it by sea or airlift that shit. I don't know, man, but they should take some of the ice that's melting and put it in the lakes. I don't know if there's any scientists out there, biochemists or whoever with environmentalists out there, but that's just my pop in for today. Every now and then I get on this, environmental kick, because you can't can't fight racism without air or water. But yeah, man, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's a very abstract idea, but I'm like, if there's ice that's melting and that's about to fuck up the ocean, then let's just take the ice and put it in the lake where the lake is running. Because when your drink run low and you add ice, it raises the level of the drink a little bit. It's not adding more drink yet, but when the ice melt, then you get more. It becomes nigga, move the ice to the lake. Fuck, man. I'm a genius. I can't keep solving all the world's problems, guys. And you're right, Triad. White supremacy doesn't work without the involvement and cooperation of the oppressed. Although, the oppressed cooperating, I see what you mean, though. Yeah, there are many ways to fight back. So, yeah, you can only stay oppressed so long. Eventually, you do have to revolt. So I hear you. Triad also says, everybody talks about the weather manipulation the government does. Just make it rain. I hear you, babe. AJ Fitz says it's still salt water. No. The ice caps are not salt water. Because so here's why I know that, AJ Fitz. This is just like I said, I'm no environmentalist or goddamn marine biologist or any of that shit. But the problem with the ice caps melting and all those chunks of ice floating off into the water and melting into the ocean is that they're going to desalinize the ocean, right? Which changes the biosphere in the ocean, right? It changes the water, the temperature, the current, all of that shit. So desalinizing means it's taking the salt out. If it's taking the salt out, that means ain't no salt in it. It's fresh water. It's ice. It's ice. Snow. It's snow. Snow, ice, all that shit. That's all. It's just cold ass rain. So that's fresh water. So if you take that up out of the fucking ocean, if you collect them chunks and put them somewhere else, rivers, lakes, let's go. I mean, that's how lakes and rivers were created, with big ass glaciers that ended up in these places and melted and grooved through rocks and became rivers and shit. So like a glacier is ice. That's fresh water. Treehead got my back. She said glaciers aren't salt water. No, I'm telling you, that's fresh water, bro. Fresh water. No, yeah. No, I'm talking about the ice chunks. She said, are you talking about glaciers or ice on land? Either way, ice is not salt water, right? Like ice is fresh water. That's just cold as fuck. And glaciers are just really, really big ass chunks of frozen ass water, and so big, in fact, that it's taken millions of years for them to begin to melt, even while dunked in salt water. And I'm saying as they break off, as they begin to chunk off, these are massive chunks. Let's get them to some place where they can be drinkable before they just melt away into the fucking ocean. That I don't know. Again, I've been day drinking. All right, I'm gonna hit a few more comments and then I'm gonna get the up out of here. Phenom, yes, Pedro, that's great critical thinking. Great question. They let the rainwater wash out because if you do the research on the rainwater, science, say it's completely unusable water because it's so polluted. Oh, really? Oh no. No. Again, I'm not they. So, literally, scientists are saying do not save water in water barrels. It's creepy, and I don't want to sound QAnonish, but it makes me think they, to use quotes, know it's over for our Earth as we know it. Yeah, I mean, we grew up with the term acid rain. Like the skies are so polluted that the clouds are nasty, spitting back funky water. But I don't know, man. I feel like that try try and catch the water, try and boil it, and if it don't work, then it don't work. But I just feel like the effort wasn't there. But Lady Hazel May said, "Let's go, Pedro. Let's go create Shang's Island with the ice chunks." Shang's Ice Chunk Island. Welcome. Uh, and yeah, AJ, I still think the majority of a glacier is fresh water and can easily be, well, I won't say easily, but could potentially be, you know, because by the time you put it in a lake or something, you put it in a reservoir, a crater or whatever, and the ground is going to filter out the rocks, filter out the salt and all that shit. And man, you could desalinize that shit. Trust me, a glacier is fresh water, bro. Let's get to drinking, y'all. I'm gonna keep mine neat until then, man. Savage AF, fuck your feelings, facts matter. This was your show for today. This was a drill solo edition. I didn't think could go on for an hour, but we missed a couple days, and there's a few things I want to talk about. Tomorrow, Shang should be back. I should also be back. We knock on wood. We keep the best intentions in mind. Until then, man, I want y'all to stay black if you are. Don't be black if you're not. You really don't want this life. And make sure you please keep your finger out your nose. Love y'all. See you tomorrow.